Welcome, listeners. I'm excited once again to have Coach Tracy with me today, ready to get really vulnerable. I am in like a vulnerable place. I was kind of telling Tracy I'm going through her program, and it's just a lot of learning. It's really going deep into what I've been studying for a couple years, into your mindset, and really looking at how I am judging myself and others. And it's kind of been, well, it's not kind of, it's been really uncomfortable for me. So I'm going to come here and talk about the uncomfortable things with my coach so that I can learn, and hopefully listeners can learn too. And I know that we were kind of planning on talking about worthiness. I had promised that in our last episode. And so I can put another, if you don't mind me using your worksheet on worthiness, pretty much is following the same setup as what we've done in the past. But we're good because I think a lot of women, well, and men probably too, go have issues of worthiness. I'm not alone in how I feel. And then I thought of my clients who I love so much. And when you're going through something hard like divorce, man, you don't want that added on. You want to be able to love yourself and maybe even the other person so that you can work together and move forward. So really, we're going to be talking about worthiness, and I'm going to use kind of something that I'm experiencing. There's a lot to choose from. So I'll kind of take my pick. But one thing, I don't think that I told everyone, because I don't think I had jumped in the pool with my grandson. I kept saying I've been promised, and I did it, and I didn't even think about it. And it was kind of dark in the pool. So I don't know that, and there was no one there. But I didn't know that. And I put my suit on and I went down and I jumped in, and it felt so good.
Yeah, very liberating.
Oh, so good. And not like me.
Yeah.
The old Lesa, would have just sat by the side trying to look real cute and covering up anything that was, and then I just went in, and so
yeah, you definitely shed that version of the Lesa who hides, and you've absolutely stepped into the Lesa who wants to be seen. The Lesa who wants to be seen is out there to help people.
Yeah.
And that's who you are. You have absolutely stepped into that. And you're right. This work is super uncomfortable, but I would challenge anybody who's listening to this to start thinking about that feeling of uncomfortable as a sign that you're growing, not as a sign that something has gone wrong. And I mean, I don't care if you have to write that down on a sticky note and put it on your, screen.
Yeah.
It's so worth remembering, because I think that we're trained to believe that the feeling of uncomfortable or discomfort means something has gone wrong, and that's not true.
Right.
Absolutely not true. And so we have to work to rewire our brain to believe that. That's not just you heard Coach Tracy say it today and therefore it's forever my truth. I'm telling you, write it down, look at it every day, ask yourself what that means, spend some time there, really creating the evidence that discomfort creates growth. It equates to growth. Find the evidence that that's true, and you will get so much traction from that. So, I mean, Lesa is a beautiful case study of that.
Well, and it's interesting because I know that. But then I'm like, thank you so much for saying that, because when you said that, I felt relief. I could see all the things I'm going through recently as a gift, which is unusual. It's the gift that I get to grow. I know working out is painful and that I get growth from it. I know going on a radio show when I'm kind of scared is growth. But sitting here with these thoughts that are coming in, I wasn't seeing that. I was losing that. And so that makes me feel comfort in the uncomfortableness. I don't even know.
Yeah. And every circumstance is going to be different. So, we can learn through certain circumstances, but that's really where it gets kind of fun, because now, can we apply what we've learned to other circumstances so
Right.
maximize the growth? So yeah, you learned this, and this was very applicable in the circumstances at hand last year. Now we're applying it to new circumstances, and it's like, oh, that's right. This is going to feel uncomfortable, and this is what I'm going to grow from. It's just a compounded growth effect. And so, yeah, once you've got the tools, like you are so equipped with self-control, how to operate with self-control, but applying it in different circumstances is now the practice, right?
Yeah.
Everything we know is only 20% of the change, right? It's insight plus application.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, insight is only 20% of the overall change. 80% comes from application in different circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like love the learning piece. So this application piece is harder for me, but I'm going to get really vulnerable and I want to explain what I went through. And then I just want you to kind of coach me. And I'm hoping that listeners can kind of understand and use their own circumstances to kind of feel their way through this process. So, okay. So I have this issue with worthiness. I always have. And I, can go up and down where I feel like so confident that this is all I do. I am the best at this. And then I had some paperwork go to an attorney that I know who tends to be hard. She is someone who could kind of light me up before because she'd beat me up a little bit. And I've really gotten good at being confident, and we've kind of become friends through it. Well, she found that I had missed something to add to the child support calculator for these clients that I had worked with. And the old Lesa from like back in law school or way back, I was like, you could just see like I shrugged my shoulders and I felt so much shame. I couldn't believe, how could I, the guru of this, I should know better than to do that. These people trusted me, and I was heartbroken and ashamed. And through that shame, I came up with, well, that's never going to happen again. So I used that shame to kind of fix it. And then when it was done, I thought, I tried to like kind of get present and use my sage brain. And I looked at it differently, and I had empathy, and I thought, I can't know everything. Nobody's perfect, and that's okay. And Lesa, it's okay that you think you have to be, but guess what? That's a lie. You don't have to be. So feel that heat. Yep, you made a mistake. You'll never make it again. You'll never make that mistake again. And so I got to kind of feel it, but I was dragging along the old baggage. So then my mind can just loop into, Tracy, I've talked to you before about, I don't know how the hell sometimes I've gotten into this line of work. I have been married for 31 years. I believe in marriage. I love relationships. And it's like, who am I? Why am I like helping people divorce better? And then, I think of things like be open to what the universe hands you. I don't know why I'm being handed, but as I think through it a little bit more, I think, who else to better serve these people than someone who has spent 31 years trying to make a relationship right? Because I want my clients to have a better life. Some of them might stay together, but I don't want them to have to go through this again. So anything that I can teach them along the way to make it so that they have hope, so this isn't going to be there again in their next, because really second divorces have a higher divorce rate than first. So we want to, change that and fix that. So I'm just like spilling out all kinds of positive and negative things going on in my head. But me right now, going through your program, seeing all the ways that I judge myself, I sometimes feel like a crazy woman. And this is what is swimming around in my head.
Yeah. So I would say, so Lesa is in my student teacher program.
Yeah. So tell me about that a little bit.
So she actually teaches some of the incoming students. And that is because she is a lifelong learner. She wants to take what she has learned to a much higher level. And by the way, she loves impacting other people's lives. So she's doing that in a very direct way on a couple different levels. She obviously does it with her own clients, and now she's doing it with these incoming students. And so it does afford you the opportunity for more personal growth. When you sign yourself up to teach other people these concepts, you are absolutely going to be required to work on yourself. And so Lesa is experiencing what all the student teachers experience, a heightened sense of when that judge shows up, that narrative that's coming from your primitive brain that's meant to be there, she now notices it really quickly. And where she used to react, like to the degree that it would sabotage her results, she now responds. So what she just gave us may have sounded like negative, positive, negative, positive, right? And people
Yep.
might go, whoa, wait a minute.
I know, it's like a ping pong game.
But ultimately, what I want to point out is, like, if we're looking at this as the big picture, ultimately, she's not creating net negative results anymore. She's noticing it. She might have one reaction, but those reactions aren't adding up to overall negative results that she doesn't want to create. That's not happening. She's catching it. She's like intercepting and then responding. So to the outsider looking in, it might sound like negative thought, powerful thought.
Yeah.
Now it's another negative thought. Like, but that's her doing the work of noticing, maybe having one reaction, but then counter reacting with a
Right.
response, with an intentional response. So the intentional response in this case was her going, oh, there's my judge beating up on me. And it's also now looking for evidence of all of the other ways that I might not be worthy.
Yes.
Where she was like, who am I to be, coaching people on divorce when I've been married for 31 years? Like, right? Like, there's all those narratives where her brain started to go down these other paths. So she had that reaction, but she didn't like follow that. She didn't like feed into that. She intercepted it and asked herself a high quality question of like, who better? Who better to help these people than somebody who believes in the institution of marriage, who is going to help them see things through a different lens, who's going to help them not be in this seat again, which
Right.
statistics show is highly likely. She's out to change that statistic. So, yeah, the work that she's doing is for sure changing, impacting her life. It is no doubt impacting the lives of current clients, future clients. The mistake with the in the calculator, like, you're right, that'll never happen again, which, oh, by the way, benefits all of the other
Right.
clients yet to come in who, I would believe or choose to believe that anybody who's going to hire somebody in professional services wants to believe that they're hiring a human being, not a robot. And, there is always the possibility of human error, but knowing that you're experienced enough that you've had these errors, that
Right.
you've rectified those, like, that's the person I want to hire right there.
Right. Well, and I think about it too when you talk about the people you impact. As I was kind of working through this, I was in contact with the other attorney through email, and it's so funny. I sent her a note and I said, I am a woman. I said, I feel bad, and I am a woman learning to embrace these mistakes because this is how I learn. So I said, I'm trying, I'm working to make these more of a positive. She sent me a note right back. She was like, absolutely right. And there was another thing that we ended up arguing on after. And I held my truth, and she sent back, oh, by the way, you were right about that. So, I mean, it was healing for her, for our relationship. So I love that, and I appreciate that. And what I want to say is, just like I always say, it's not easy, Tracy. Like, but I think it probably would have been harder. I don't know. I think it would have been harder overall in the long run. I'm feeling the pain in the moment right now because I'm not pushing it aside and just fixing it and then forgetting about it. And then the next time it blows up.
Right.
So, but it's hard. It is. And it's icky. And, you know, it's hard to go through hard things like divorce.
Yeah. Right. And, you know, you get to choose. Do you want to go through a circumstance believing that it's hard and and then letting your brain go out and look for all the evidence of it being hard? Or do you want to go through the circumstance of it's hard and that's okay, and I'm going to manage my mind through it and have your brain look for all the ways it gets to manage its experience so that you feel something that you want to feel through it all. Like,
and I have to believe that it's healing and that it's going to be less painful in the future. I mean, I know that we talk about how life is 50-50.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to have those thoughts and feelings. However, I think that I won't lose sleep over them. Maybe the effect won't be as long.
Right. Yeah. 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 I applaud you for just being so vulnerable and, you know, sharing all your humanness. And I love offering the question or challenging my clients to think about, do they expect life to always be full of 100% full of positive feelings? Is that what their expectation of life is? Because if you have that expectation, if that's your belief, you're setting yourself up for an unhappy life, because life is 50-50. So if you expect it to be 50% negative feelings and 50% positive feelings, you've just now eliminated this unnecessary suffering that's going to happen, because you will be judging the heck out of every single negative result, and you're going to be compounding the suffering. So what you've just heard me say is, you are supposed to suffer. You are supposed to experience negative feelings. That is part of life. That's what makes the good, even like it contexts it. That's what makes the good even possible. So this is life, you guys. So you have to expect them both. What we're trying to do is manage when you are feeling the unwanted, manage your mind so you don't follow a unfolding of like compounded net negative results. We're going to intercept that, and we're going to recognize that through that uncomfortable feeling, there's a gift and there's an opportunity, which is exactly what you're doing.
Right. And I something that came to me when you were talking about 50-50, you're going to feel bad and good 50-50, or you're going to have those feelings. However, it seems like when you can take control of your mind, you suffer less. You have that feeling and you pull your hand off the hot fire. You learn from it. You're alerted to what went wrong, and boom, like a duck, it washes off of you.
Yes. Yes.
So you suffer less. You still feel 50% of the time bad, 50% good, but there's a lot, you're not holding on to the suffering. You're kind of letting it go. Does that sound right?
Yeah. And I mean, it really does come back to the mind math. So we are all trying to get results in our life. You have to understand that the thinking that is going on in your head is what's making you feel something. And then you're going to have either a reaction or a response. If this is a negative feeling, you're going to have a reaction. We want to limit how many reactions we have, so therefore we intercept before we create like ultimate compounded net negative results. This is life right here. This is how it unfolds.
Right. And for those of you who can't see this, Tracy is holding up. Yeah, no, it's where, and I've talked about this before, where you write down your thought, your feeling. And sometimes I do my circumstance too, but your thought, your feeling, and then how you're reacting or responding.
Yes.
So
Yeah, so
TFR.
visual. Yeah, when it's visual, you can change it. When it stays unseen, it's very difficult to change. So I encourage all of my clients to make it visual, write
Yeah.
it out, and you can get this. You just link my website, and you
Okay.
guys can print this out. And I give instructions on how to use it, but it's so helpful to get it out of your head and be able to like make it more tangible. Now you can see the obstacles that are standing in your way from getting what it is that you want. Now you can change it when you can see it. When you can't see it, it's very difficult to change.
Yeah. And I cannot say enough. You've taught me how writing down something or even doing a thought download, I learn things, even though I think, oh, just sitting here thinking about it, I'll figure it out. There's something about writing it down and the flow and what I have learned so many insights through that practice. So that little notepad that you have is so helpful to me.
Yeah.
Whenever
Me
I do
too. I use it every single day. And it's you get to decide like what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to live the life that is full of intention, or do you want to live on default? When you're wanting to live with intention, like you're going to do things like this.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
you can see things, so you can change things. And that is not a promise or a guarantee that life is going to be 100%
Right.
good feelings. That's not it at all. That is going to, what I can guarantee you is that you're going to be able to feel equipped, ready to manage the negative feelings, which feels really good. Knowing that you have the tools, that you're equipped to manage the negative feelings. You'll never fear again.
Right. Right. It's so good. And Tracy, I am going to put your working on worthiness worksheet.
Awesome.
I don't know that I need to go over it. I'll have it on my website and my resources, but it's just about noticing, just like we always talk about, normalizing what you're feeling, neutralizing it, and then thinking what's the next best thought. It's that mind math. So listeners, okay, 10 minutes always doubles. It was always called 10 minutes with Tracy. It's always longer. I feel like I don't even pay attention to that anymore.
We're just over delivering, right?
You have so much knowledge. And truly, my life has been so blessed from Tracy. And I feel like it's just growing. And I just would recommend that anyone who is listening, who wants to do some good self-care and invest in themselves, go to Tracy. We'll have all your information about Self-Made You in the show notes. But if you want to take charge of your mindset, there's just no better way. And I feel like am in a community of like-minded women, and I'm sure there's not men where in the groups I'm in, but I'm sure there are some. But it's just been so impactful in my life, and I'm going to try to reach as many people as I can with what I'm learning. But go to Tracy if you're needing a little help and wanting to have a better life and take responsibility for it. So Tracy, as always, thank you so much. I am so grateful for you.
Thanks, Lesa. Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Bye-bye.